Welcome back, everybody, to Neal Podcast. I am Neal, and this is my lovely co-host today, Neal.
I'm Neal too. Hey,
What's up?
happy birthday to L. We our friend
yes.
L.
Yeah, happy
She's been
belated
a
birthday.
guest on the show before.
She just turned 48 years old, everybody. So,
I thought it was 52.
was it 50? Oh, you know what? She is one of the oldest ones in the group.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah,
So food was great.
Man.
Yes.
Man, the food was awesome.
Yes.
I don't know that somebody made some cabbage. Was that ham or was that turkey?
I think
Because
it was
thought it was
turkey.
smoked turkey.
It tasted like turkey. It tastes like
Ooh.
turkey. Ooh, oh yes. I got like a whole bag of that. Plus, I left a whole pan of the cornbread too.
There was a lot of cornbread.
Oh.
There was a lot of corn.
Yes.
There was a lot of cabbage with.
My poops are gonna be looking real weird for the next couple days.
That's what happened this morning.
Yeah.
But that was good.
Oh yeah, it was really good. A lot of fun.
We
We also saw Mateo Lane the week before.
I was going to say last week we also couldn't get our damn shit together and
Yes.
couldn't get the power
Technical difficulties.
technicals difficulties with the power and the amperage and the wattage and the
Yeah. So
we got to figure it out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
gotta
We're
figure
good
it
to
out.
go now. Should be good going forward.
Unless we're saying this and it doesn't work, and then we
might
we
be
may
down
not
the
even
camera.
be putting this up.
We may only have 2 cameras next time we come back.
Look,
I'll
we
throw
duct
something.
taped. We duct taped the problem. We fixed it.
Duct tape solves it all.
It literally is a camera that if the wire is not perfectly in correctly, it doesn't want to work. So
Oh shit.
we didn't use duct tape, but duct tape would have worked.
Yes. Oh yes.
Duct tape fixes
But yeah,
everything.
Mateo Lane was
Yeah, so we
it
saw
was
Mateo
hilarious.
Lane.
So his
That was
opener
so
was
good.
hilarious. The whole show was so much fun.
Apologize, we couldn't catch the name of the opener, but she was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Didn't really talk much about it last week because they both said that they were working through a new set. So
Oh yeah, they had to. Well, I think he said he had just finished a special,
right.
and so I think he was still working on some new jokes that he was testing out there, and so it was still like they worked for me.
Some of them, they were hilarious.
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Oh yes.
The when he said, "How many straight guys do we have in house?"
Oh.
And like 4 of us.
Yep.
But-
I honestly thought there would be more. I was like, all right, let's
Oh shit!
Oh.
It's me and you, Neal. We gotta stop clapping.
Like I think it was us. There were maybe a couple guys a few rows down in front of us, and then there were like another 3 guys across the theater. That was it.
He was like, "Oh, well, thanks for coming."
Yes. Oh,
I
man.
was expecting a little bit more, but
I mean, it is what it is.
go out
So-
and say straight heterosexual men. Listen, Mateo Lane's funny as fuck. Go
Yes.
go watch him.
Oh,
we
yes.
gotta support.
Oh my god, the joke he had with the head nod in the gym though,
Man,
that was.
that was hilarious.
I don't think I'll forget that one for a long time.
No, everybody lost it on that one, and I think, we're not gonna say what it was, but I think he said, "Oh, we're trying that one out. You guys seem to like that one." I'm like, yeah, that's a winner, buddy. You hold on to that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so what did we do? Oh, so we both came up with our top 5 worst Christmas movies
Yes.
of all time.
Oh yes.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back and forth.
Yeah. I'll start it off. We'll go through. If I happen to say one that's on your list,
Right.
just be like, ah shit. Just like, all right, then we'll just go.
Ah, shit. All right.
All right.
Get my list.
Hold on, let's go. Let me pull up my trusty phone here. All right. First one, in no particular order that I have, is a classic Sinbad and Governor joint called Jingle All the Way, where they got to get
Yep.
the Turbo Man.
Turbo Man.
Because if I don't get this toy, my kid will not love me, and I will have ruined Christmas. Like I hated this movie so much.
I did too. I remember Oh, actually, I didn't talk about this last week, but I remembered it was a childhood friend of mine. He was acting up, and we were supposed to go see it. And if I remember right, it was at the Iris Theater in Terrell. That's not even a theater anymore. It's a bookstore.
Okay.
Because it was a single screen theater.
Whoa.
Yeah, like it was in a shopping center. There was a single screen. Man, I can't remember how many people it would fit, but
Like 30?
30, 40. But I remember he was acting up. His mom said, you're not going. I was like, well, if he's not going, I don't get to go. And yeah, he poured on the crocodile tears, and then we got to go. And then we were both disappointed. Like, that sucked.
You didn't like, was it Sinbad as a postman fighting with these two grown-ass men fighting for a damn toy?
Yeah, not just any man, but Arnold freaking Schwarzenegger. Back in when did? Because I wrote it down.
It's like
I mean, it was 96.
96. Oh yeah.
So
Still
Schwarzenegger
swole.
was still
Swole Schwarzenegger.
swole Schwarzenegger. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. So yeah, that was on my list too.
Okay.
It was when there were certain toys. I remember the big two ones. It was those stupid Furbies.
Ooh, yes.
And the Tickle Me Elmos that people were knocking, like grown men were knocking women out just to get one for their kid.
And they were like toys for like 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
Which just blows my. I was like, no, I don't get. No, if my 6-year-old lost his shit and like got mad at me for not buying him this toy, like a single toy for Christmas, I'd be like, well, then I'm snatching all. Like my parents wish I'd have thrown a fit for not getting this one toy or whatever. They'd have took all my shit.
Well, and it is different now because in '96 you weren't buying shit on Amazon. You weren't getting shit delivered. You had to go to the store. And now there's stores like Toys R Us doesn't even exist anymore. But back then, people were lined up around the corner just to try to get a damn Furby.
Here's what I will say. I will say my mom did this for me the one time. And I didn't even think she was going to do this for me. Shocked me. Like, I was like, you don't have to buy me Christmas gifts now at all. Like, I'll be fine with nothing. Because for my birthday, the PlayStation 2 was coming out, like, right around my birthday or, like, right after. And I told my mom, I was like, look, I don't, like, there's not very much I want. I just want a PS2. If you're not able to get it, I get it. It's expensive, you know. And she literally showed up at Best Buy at, like, 6 in the morning or something like that. And she was, like... I think like maybe 50th in line to get a PS2 and got that for me. Like, and like Christmas was in like another few months. I was like, thank you. I don't want any Christmas gifts now. Like you waited in line at 6 in the morning for me to get this. I want nothing else anymore. Thank you.
There is nothing in this world that is coming out that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go get up and be in line at 6 a.m.
Now, technically, they were opening early. They were opening at like, I think 7. So she got there, got a ticket, and then went right back to the car and just like listened to the radio. And I was like, the fact that you did this, I was like, Mom, I think I was like maybe a freshman or sophomore in high school. And I at that point recognized, I was like, oh, yeah. You ain't have to do all that. I ain't expect none of that.
Yeah, there's not a damn thing. Not those people that get in line for the new iPhones and
So, no, you remember, you don't see anymore. You remember people camping out for movies? You remember when, like, the prequels were coming out and people were camping out? Like,
oh, for the Star Wars
Yes.
ones? Oh, that is
They would show
remember.
up, like, a week to 5 days before it was supposed to be out. And they're camping in line to be the first person to get a ticket to see it.
To each your own. Or
Don't nobody do that no more.
No.
Yeah.
No, now I got my PS2 because I was working at Radio Shack in high school.
Just kind of set a few to the.
Well, no, I won some it was like they were doing this cell phone selling competition, and I apparently sold the most phones in the district during the competition that I didn't know that we were doing. I was just doing my job. And so my boss is like, hey, you won this thing. And I'm like, what thing? And they're like, you sold a lot of cell phones. I'm like, okay, what do I get? oh, it's a $200 gift card to Blockbuster. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to buy $200 worth at Blockbuster? But then they sold PS2s.
I would have never thought to go to Blockbuster to get
Right.
to get a game console.
Right? And I was like, hey, you got PS2s? And they're like, yeah. I was like, here. And then I just put, I don't know. I don't remember if it paid for it exactly, but
I think
yeah.
it was like it was either 200 or 250.
Yeah, I don't remember,
somewhere like that.
But see, I got it later, so it might have been like I just got one and
Okay.
didn't have to pay but like the tax or whatever. So
Nice.
but all right. Anyway. So yeah, Jingle on the Way was on my list. So I had another yoke dude on there is Santa with Muscles. I believe came out the exact same year as Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
And if you have not seen Santa with Muscles, well, it's Hulk Hogan as Santa Claus. And,
Oh, brother.
and he has muscles. And if you haven't seen Hulk Hogan's acting, well,
Count yourself lucky.
just pick one, and then you don't need to watch any of the other ones because they're all about the same.
Dude, I think I've seen most of Hulk Hogan's movies. Like,
I think I have
crazy
too.
enough.
I think I have too,
He's been in,
'cause-
I think, like 4 or 5 movies, and I've probably seen all of them.
Well, you had he had a cameo type in Rocky.
Oh, it was
3?
Rocky 3. I think it was
Yeah.
Rocky 3.
Yeah,
He had a cameo in Rocky 3. He also was in, was it No Holds Barred?
What's that smell?
Dookie!
If some people listen to this and they're like, "What in the hell are they talking about?" Just look up. Was it No Holds Barred?
I think that was No Holds Barred.
Because there was Suburban Commando.
No, I don't think that was Suburban Commando.
I think it was No Holds Barred.
I think
That was
it
the
was-
one where he fought Zeus or
I think so.
Debo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Oh,
Passed
man.
away a while
But yeah, Santa with Muscles, man. I think he's like some supplement billionaire or millionaire or some shit like that. And he's like running around shooting the cops with paintballs. And then in classic TV fashion, suffers head trauma and gets amnesia. And later on, the only way his amnesia is fixed is by more head trauma.
Yeah, yeah. It was a rough movie. I think was
And
that so
I
it
think
was 96, so it was right before he went. He was either right before or after he just went to WCW.
Oh,
I think. But then if it
he
came out,
hadn't gone heel yet. I don't think.
But if it came out in 96, then it must have been shot pre.
yeah.
So I think, if I remember right, there was Vince McMahon was worried about Hogan wanting to go to Hollywood,
Yep.
so I think he either fronted the money for
He fronted the
Suburban
money.
Commando,
Yeah. He paid for and produced Suburban Commando. He's like, all right, you want a movie? You want hey, Hulk, hey, you want a movie? We'll make you a movie, Hulk. We'll make you a star. We'll make you a movie. And you're
Well,
just like,
if it wasn't for Thunder in Paradise, he may never even went to WCW, because where they were shooting Thunder in Paradise was also the same location that they were filming WCW Nitro. So I think Bischoff just went over there and was like, listen, we wrestle here. You don't have to do all that. You can still do Thunder in Paradise, which I think ended up getting canceled. And then we had one of the greatest 3 years of pro wrestling probably ever.
Oh, yeah.
Not just WCW, but in NWO and WWE.
hey, you know what movie helped spark that along, Neil?
Santa with Muscles.
Goddamn right. Oh yeah, it was so because it's classic. I got a billionaire. I'm evil. Amnesia. Now I have to save the. I think he saves an orphanage because some guy was trying to destroy the orphanage for some I don't know, element that he found under it or something. You know, it's so dumb.
Well,
there's a fight with
yeah.
a candy cane at one point. Like it's awful. It's so awful.
Go watch
But
it.
you want to know what's real wild though? I'm gonna pull up the cast list for this movie. Hold on, Santa with the Muscles cat. You're gonna trip out when you hear this cast. All right.
I do honestly forget who was
Okay.
in it.
There's Hulk.
Yeah.
All right. Mila Kunis is in this movie. From That 70s Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in this movie.
Oh, gosh.
Yep. Let's see. Oh yeah. So Garrett Morris. You remember Jamie Foxx show?
Yeah.
The dad?
Yeah.
The uncle, whatever.
Yeah.
He's in this
in it.
movie. Yeah. Clint Howard's in this movie. Like the director, dude from Happy Days. Like Clint
Right.
Howard's in this movie. Hold on. There's another dude that's I thought was really crazy in this. Where is it? Oh no. I can't remember.
Well,
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake is also in it.
Oh, well, they're like Hogan and Beefcake were huge
Oh
friends.
shit, I forgot. Is this the dude? Oh, I forgot he was in this. This dude's been in a ton of shit. Okay, this is Ed Begley Jr. Does that name ring a bell? Dude, he is a character actor, and he has been in like so many things like over the years. Like when I show you a picture, hold on. This dude.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like you've seen him in everything.
He's been in everything. I just didn't know his name.
Yes,
Yeah.
this dude was in there. Like it's wild. Like the amount of people you had in this piece of shit of a movie.
I mean, look, if it pays, it pays. I guess. Like,
True. If it's a check.
I don't know how that honestly works in the industry. Like when once you're committed to a certain point, are you kind of just stuck that you
Yeah.
have to do it?
Oh, dude. So I've seen. Oh, what's his name? Hispanic actor. He played Violator in the Spawn movie.
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo. I don't know why I blanked on it, but I've seen him live, like do a one-man show 3 times. I've seen like I didn't realize I was such a fan until like sat there and counted. I was like, I've seen him live like 3 different times.
I
when
mean,
he came
back
to
in
Dallas.
the '90s, he was. I always thought he was hilarious.
Oh yeah, but I remember at one of his shows he was talking about when he did Super Mario Brothers. Yeah,
That was a
dude.
bad movie.
And what's crazy, he passed on being in Philadelphia to be in Super Mario Brothers. Yes. He said he realized he got there. He was the second day into filming. The dude who played Mario said that dude was drunk as shit the entire
the whole movie?
the whole time they were shooting. And he realized he was talking to him and he could just smell the liquor on his mouth. He was like, "Oh damn, I made a fucking mistake." And he's like, at that point, he's like, "Well, you just gotta do what you do for the rest of the movie."
I wonder how many times, like, I mean, if I'd have read that Super Mario script, I would have been like, this is trash because it was so far removed from what Mario was. But then you get into it and you're like, well, maybe we can.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with all that shit.
I mean, but think about how many movies just sound like complete trash on. Like if I were to describe Scott Pilgrim, the Scott Pilgrim movie to you, good movie.
It's I'd have read it and been like, it's a different concept. But if I'd have read,
I mean, but it doesn't sound. If I just pitch you this idea, it doesn't sound like it would be a good movie. Like it's like got a bunch of video game references. It's like got all this stuff. It's like this weird. You're fighting this chick's exes all of a sudden. It's like, huh?
But wasn't Scott Pilgrim originally based off of a comic?
I think so.
So
But-
that's the only thing.
But do you think at the time? Do you think a lot of these actors were into comics, or these producers?
I mean, who played Scott Pilgrim? What's his name?
Michael Cera.
Yeah, I could see him as a comic book dude.
Oh yeah, that's As you say, I was like, yeah, I think he seems like he'd be into comics.
Yep.
But I mean, that was back in the early '90s. They didn't give a shit about. It was like, oh, it's Mario. Kids will come get it.
The Mario movie. I thought you were still talking about Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
But yeah. But all right, next one I got on my list.
Yeah. What do you got?
I got Jack Frost.
So we obviously talked about it a little bit last week, but yeah, I didn't remember it until you had told me about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember. It was Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah, Michael Keaton. I think shitty dad at work all the time. I think he either has an aneurysm or a heart attack and like dies, and then like comes back a year later and gets reincarnated into a damn snowman that his kid makes. And like
Now, see, there you go. You want to talk about if I'd have read like, so I die and then I come back as a snowman, and then I fix my relationship with my kid, and then I melt. I was fucking Batman.
Yeah.
Okay? I was Batman. I'm not doing this.
They did real life Frost. They did a real live action version of the Frosty the Snowman movie.
They did a broken home Frosty the Snowman. Like dad
Oh
being
yeah, it is. Yeah,
or not broken. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
we gotta make it.
I mean,
even
they put a
sadder.
snowman on a snowboard at one point. I was like, this is dumb. So
See, that's
dumb.
like I don't need to see it. You kind of like yeah, he dies and he turns into a snowman, and he loves his kid, but now he's a snowman, and then seasons change and now he's dead.
No, but see, I did like the idea of the kid can't let go. And so he just gathers up all the melting snow of his dad and just stuffs them in the freezer. He's like, if you don't melt, you can't die, Dad. You'll be with me forever.
Update 2024.
And he's
House
just this
loses
block,
power.
and he's just like,
yeah.
please, just let me go.
It sucks, son. I'm in a fucking freezer for 7 months out of the year. Like, you don't even come and say hi most of the time.
Mom forgets she has a date over. They start chipping off blocks
What
from the dad to make drinks and
what if
shit.
you had somebody come over they don't know and they're like, oh, this is a nice solid ice cube, and just starts hacking at it with an ice pick.
Use them to make fucking scotch on the rock.
This tastes extra good. I don't know why. It's like there's tears in it.
It's a little salt, nice oaky, salty finish.
Oh shit, that was bad. Well, another one is that for me, and this is a product of I think American cinema, is that we have a problem with not making up new shit, and we have to fucking sequel everything. And it was Home Alone 3, which didn't even have Macaulay Culkin in it.
Okay,
It
I was about to say, I remember 2 in New York. I was
yeah.
like, 3, they switched out the kid, but I don't even remember where. I don't even remember. I remember 3, but I don't even think I saw that one.
It was. I remember watching it, going like, "This is just an essential reboot of the original that's not as good."
Oh god,
And
it's cash grab.
yeah, you did 2. I didn't know how you were gonna do a second one, but then they did, and I'm like, okay, we're done. We don't need any more of these. Let's move on. But no, it was another Hollywood cash grab. Let's just beat that horse to death.
If they were going to do a 3, they should have
Beat a
waited.
dead horse.
They should have had a grown Kevin McAllister lose his kid. And now he's got to figure out how to find his kid while his kid
but it
goes
was
through that shit.
97. Like the Home Alone 3 came out in 97. Macaulay Culkin was still a kid.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have flash forward, 10 years after, done like a quick little 10 years
You can
later.
do it now.
Yeah.
Because I think.
Oh, yeah. Shit, yeah. He's like
42, 43.
definitely going to have some.
Yeah, for sure. I remember seeing a tweet where he was like, if you want to feel old, I turned 40 today. And I went, fuck you. That's I do feel old. All right, which one you got? What do you got on yours?
I got 4 Christmases. It's
And you told me about this last week, and now I can't remember what.
Really?
So it sounded so bad. I think I blocked it out of my mind again.
Oh, dude, it's Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon.
Right.
So Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon, I think they're married. They hate their families, and so every year they tell their family some sort of lie, and they go vacation somewhere over Christmas, so they don't have to see them. All of a sudden, all their flights get canceled. So they're like, "Fuck, we're stuck here on Christmas." So now I think both of them have divorced parents. So for some reason, it's a great idea for them to go to 4 different houses in one day. And I was like, first of all, hell no. Like, not doing all that. I'll go to 2, maybe. Definitely not more than that.
2's no.
That is the max.
No, I'm not.
And it depends on where, and those 2 better be within 20 to 30 minutes of each other.
Because if you're doing 4, your day's starting at like 7 in the morning at somebody's house.
Yeah. You're like having to get there at 7, 8, then boom, you got to get out of there to get to the next place by 12. Then you're getting out of there to get to the next place by 3, 4. Then you got to get to the next. And you're like spinning. I'm not trying to do all that driving. No.
And then I better be staying the night at no, screw all that.
No. So first of all, the whole concept was terrible. Then it was just so ridiculous because I think Vince Vaughn. I think he goes to his mom, and his mom's like dating his childhood best friend or some shit like that. His friend's talking about fucking his mom in front of him. I was like, this is no. Like I'd have been done punched my friend in the face. Like we're not friends anymore, and I'm not coming here to watch you lay up on my friend from like some dude that's 30 years younger than you. Nah, mom, I'm
No,
good.
no, that. Mm-mm. I know that there's a lot of guys and people that, men are dating younger women, but it's not 30. How you can't even talk to somebody with a 30-year age gap. There's nothing that you can relate to being that different, like that far apart.
No,
Absolutely not.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And then I think there's one. I remember the worst movie. The worst part of this movie I remember being was they. I think he goes to his brother's place or his dad's place, and his brother's just like a huge meathead. And so this is back when this is like 2008 in this movie. So early days of the UFC, and like every single guy that was into the UFC had that just super meathead stereotype. And so this Vince Vaughn gets there. He's getting his ass kicked by his like 10-year-old like nephews, and his brother's putting him in like terrible arm bars and terrible chokes. And I'm just like, first of all, this is terrible, shitty technique. And who are these people that just start beating the shit out of somebody who just walks into your house? I was like, no,
I don't get it.
Get it out of here.
You were talking about Red One a couple weeks ago, and it's already like it just came out, and it's already being bombed as one of the worst movies this year.
But I mean, could
Like,
it have
not even
gone
getting
any other
close.
way? First of all,
Yeah.
I'm always nervous if there's too many stars. If I see more than 3 stars in a movie, then I'm immediately like, where is this going? I don't like this.
Because you had technically 4, because it was The Rock, Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, and J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, and then I think somebody did some voice acting.
Uh-uh.
I think
For
I
the
can't
bear?
remember.
The polar bear is somebody?
somebody was the thing for the bear. And
Well,
so
I'd heard, I don't know if this is true, but apparently The Rock was showing up like 8 hours late for filming, and if he even showed up at all.
I mean,
I'm like, he's just on that level, I guess, that now where he just, if that's true.
also, man, here's what I've also heard too is sometimes you get contractually obligated to the dumbest shit, where it's like, all right, we'll let you do this movie or this movie, but in return, you've got to do 2 movies of our choosing, and it's just like, and you get put on. From what I've heard stories of people getting put on the dumbest shit, like Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro was in a Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. Do you think he
Yeah.
read that script and be like, oh yeah, this sounds good? Or does it be like, hey, you know that one movie we let you do? Now it's time to pay up because now we need somebody for this.
I don't
And
know.
we're gonna pay
I
you
forgot
scale.
He did the Rocky and Bullwinkle. That's just maybe he was just a big fan and it was like,
Trying to
yeah,
make
I'll
movies
do
for
it.
his grandkids or some shit.
Maybe. I can't, like,
That was
that
so
is
bad.
that's got to be at the bottom of his catalog of
Oh yeah,
movies, right?
every great actor has some just dog shit on their resume. I mean,
yeah.
name me an actor. You can name me any great actor. Doesn't matter how many Academy Awards or that they have. I guarantee you, if you go through their this resume of
Man,
movies,
yeah.
they've got at least 2. Just what the fuck is this kind of movies?
I was trying to run through everything and I'm like, no, I can think of at least 1 or 2 really shitty movies from almost everybody.
Yeah,
Does Denzel have one?
Denzel's got a few terrible ones in there.
Oh, he did that. You know what? I can think of one. He did that movie with Mark Wahlberg, Two Guns or something like that.
2 Guns.
Let me see.
2 Guns. Oh, that that sounds like a Mark Wahlberg name of a movie.
Yeah, Two Guns. 2013. DE agent Denzel. It was not good. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, Denzel's got some trash.
I did forget about that one. Well, it's funny you brought up Vince Vaughn because on my list I had Fred Claus, which was another Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn
terrible-
classic.
I just remember he's Santa Claus's brother, but he's a fuck up and gets into legal trouble, and Santa Claus has to. I think he bails him out or something, and he has to pay off the debt by making toys. And it was so dumb. It was so dumb.
Santa shows up to your court hearing. It's like,
Well-
oh, he can do community service in the North Pole for me. It's like,
No, I think he like gets him out. I don't remember. He gets him out of the trouble somehow. He sprinkles a little elf dust on him, and then they go. But Paul Giamatti's Santa Claus.
that is the grumpiest Santa
Right?
I could ever imagine.
Oh, he's pretty pissed off with
Paul,
like.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I've ever seen Paul Giamatti play a happy character. Like Paul Giamatti is like permanently, he has a permanent grumpy cat face in everything that I fucking see him in.
Yeah, let's see his
Paul
of the
Giamatti is the-
two
that's
Claus
the-
brothers, Vince Vaughn is the troublemaker and
Santa.
polar opposite of the saintly sibling. Yada yada yada. Criminal ways finally land him in big trouble. Nicholas bails him out and brings him to the North Pole to work
Okay.
off the debt by making toys.
Okay.
The headaches mount for Saint Nick, who not only must deal with his troublemaking brother, but also efficiency expert who has come to evaluate Santa's operation. It's
What?
just so
Hold
over
on,
the top.
Wait.
You've never-
Santa's got an efficiency expert. So what? Is Santa gonna get fired if he's not efficient with these toys enough?
Listen, man, I don't know what happened. There was something in like the early 2000s to the mid 2000s that there was just a run of Christmas movies that were coming out.
Yeah.
All the Santa Claus sequels, and then the Fred Claus, and then this and then that, and it just
I mean, here's the thing. They were trying to capture, if we can get that one Christmas classic, we can have our Mariah Carey moment. All right? Because, we're getting into Mariah Carey season. All right?
yeah.
I mean, you can't tell me Mariah Carey. Christmas is coming. Prepare for Mariah Carey. So everybody
hear
was
it.
trying to, like,
You're
and
gonna
I think, because when did she record that Christmas album? Like late 90s, if I remember right?
I feel like that was mid 90s,
Was
late
it
90s.
mid late night?
I mean,
So
look it up.
she and then you started and then it wasn't until about 2000 that it just blew up, and you started hearing about, like, around 2000 2001 is when everybody all of a sudden started using the Mariah
Yeah.
Carey Christmas songs in all the commercials and everything all the time, and it's just been going for fucking 20
yeah,
some odd years
all I
since.
Want for Christmas Is You is played all the time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and so
she did
everybody
it,
was like, let's get our own
yeah.
Christmas stuff going, and so capitalize on that Mariah Carey money.
But she released that October 28th of 94.
94.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yep.
Wild.
Yep. So yeah, Fred Claus was mine,
Okay.
and that was funny because that's Vince Vaughn again. Don't give me a third Vince Vaughn.
All right. Now, the other one I had was, oh man, where'd it go? Was it Holiday Inn? No. Oh, there was one. It was so bad. Oh, I do not remember the name. It was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I'll Be Home for Christmas.
So that was my last one too.
Oh, that was your last one?
Yeah.
I'll
I
Be
was
Home
like,
for Christmas.
I'll
Fucking
be home for-
JTT.
Yep.
Oh, fresh off his Home Improvement.
years. Yeah. They just don't make good. Like 90s was so good for sitcoms. I think
Yeah, that is
Family
true.
Matters.
There's a few
Home
here
Impro-
and there that make it, but it doesn't hit the same now.
Man, we
It's
used to go. We used to
too
go home
forced.
Friday nights, and it was TGIF, and you watched
yes,
you
man.
watched everything that was on TGIF.
I remember it was Family Matters, Step by Step.
Wasn't Full House on it? Like
think
too,
Full
because they
House-
moved certain. Like they had
And
a
through
running,
the years,
yeah.
they would kind of switch stuff. here and there.
Dinosaurs was on it.
Oh, Dinosaurs was on there.
That was one of the like for a sitcom had
Fucking-
one of the saddest endings of a sitcom ever.
Yep.
What happens? A meteor kills them. Like they all.
And you see
die.
it just start snowing. It's like, all right, come together, family.
And then it's like,
what?
bye. Well, there won't be a season 4 or whatever it was.
But okay,
Oh yeah,
but,
I'll
but
be
yeah.
home for Christmas.
I mean, first of all, just the initial concept of like this spoiled ass rich kid. He's like, hey, you need to, take responsibility. You need to get here for Christmas to be here for Christmas dinner. And I was like, so I'm gonna get you this plane ticket, and if you're able to make it here, I'll give you my vintage Porsche. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna buy you something, and I'm gonna buy you this ticket, and if you don't fuck it up, I'll get you this. Like I'm gonna give you a vintage car for not fucking something up this easy.
To get on a plane.
Yes, I
and
was
to
like,
come home.
first of all, no, and then then you've got the classic douchebag. I'm gonna screw this guy over because I want his girl, and so fucking drug him and just leave him out in the fucking desert in a Santa costume. I was like, first of all, this motherfucker could have died.
He would have died.
Yes.
There's yeah.
Like I was like, how do you know you didn't get picked up by a serial killer? Like you dudes are fucking nuts.
There were no serial killers in the 90s.
And then it's, first of all, I looked up how long that drive is from where he was in LA to, was it like Dorchester, New York? Or like, that is I believe like 45-hour drive. Like
45 hours.
It's like 40 something hours. Like that's if you drive nonstop. And I'm just like, this motherfucker had to sit here and spend 40 something hours and cars and this. And then I think he finally gets either a bus ticket or a plane ticket halfway through to make it, if I remember right. I just remember being like, this is the dumbest thing. He's like getting in sled races. And I was like, this is retarded.
How many times, like, should they just stop making Christmas movies? Because how can you keep making more of the same shit over and over again and expect us to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go during the holiday seasons to the movies and watch this other piece of shit that you put out?
Yeah. I don't know. Nobody wants to do something, or everybody's too scared to do something original for, I guess, fear it'll fail. So they keep trying to regurgitate the same shit and try to let's try to recapture the feeling of the original. It's like, nobody, don't give me the same that you gave me last week. How about you try to create something new?
Well,
I'd much rather you try to make something
though with a white kid that's going home to get a Porsche.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that
like,
part there.
Who's the target audience there? 1% of the population?
Yes. Like as soon as I saw that, I remember, oh fuck this kid. Like this kid, I'm done.
My first car was an '88 Camaro that was $1,500, and let me tell you, it was not a nice Camaro. It had a tractor motor in it. It was like a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder. So don't like, oh, you had a Camaro? No, it was by name it was, but yeah, it would barely go over 80 miles an hour.
Oh, I think my first car was an 85 Nissan Stanza. It was like a light blue box. I remember the cruise control didn't work, and I remember, how the little foam, like little
the headliner stuff?
Like liners, like that in between the door and the actual when you close it, the little foam stuff to kind of keep all the air from outside, that started like giving way, peeling, and so the foam thing started falling down. So I had to get like double-sided tape and try to tape it up myself, which lasted for like maybe 3 weeks before it started falling down again.
Like 80s, 90s cars were not built to withstand Texas heat.
Oh, no.
Because it gets so hot in the summertime that if you don't crack your window, you have an oven in your car.
Oh, yes.
And it would just melt headliners. Mm-hmm. My dash was cracked all to hell.
Oh, yes.
Because, well, that sun bearing down on it just cooks it.
Oh, yeah. I think I had one car. I think I had like a 97 Camry at one point, and it had gotten so bad that the whole dash just got like weird and sticky. So if you were to put your hand on it and you like like you're taking your hand off the tape on there, and I was like
tar, just hot tar coming up.
Yeah, and then now your hand feels weird, and you got to try to wash it off, but you're in the damn car.
I left a pair of shoes in the car, my workout shoes, and I guess right where the sun was coming through the glass and onto the bag, I had a bottle of BCAAs in my shoes, and my shoes had warped up into like a sled, and the BCAA box was just contorted from just sitting out in the sun. I was like, shit, I forgot to crack the window again.
Oh, yes.
But, it's a nice, cool 79 degrees today. During, is it winter now? Fall still? I don't know.
It
doesn't
goes
matter.
back and forth.
We get like, it's cool, and then it's hot and cool, and then like 2 weeks of shit, and then we're back to heat again.
But I want to jump back into something you said earlier. All right,
Oh.
about how like they
Oh.
don't make like like sitcoms and stuff like that in the '90s and all that stuff. Because I was thinking about this. Growing up, we had Bob Ross and we had Mister Rogers. I
Howdy,
don't
neighbor.
know if this generation, if there's like, since they died, like, I don't know if there's been anybody like that everybody like universally is truly like, hey, that dude right there, he's doing good shit and he's a good person. And and we don't think that, like, there are no ulterior motives behind anything that he does.
Yeah, they never like Rogers never had anything, right? Like
No, not
nothing.
even Bob Ross. All the Bob
Yeah,
Ross stuff was just
his
shitty things
family,
his
right?
family was doing after he died.
Yeah.
Like the two of them, like everybody was like, these are the two most wholesome men of like that our generation grew
Yeah.
up with. That I don't know, like I guess you could say Mr. Beast, but then you got that whole
I
Beastable
know.
things with him and Jake Paul, where they had like mold
They've
growing
got
on their food and
their
stuff.
company.
They were selling cheap shit or
What the
something like
hell
that.
were those? I don't even remember what they were called, but they were like a lunchable knockoff, and there was multiple videos of people opening them up, and the cheese was just covered in mold.
Oh my god!
And I think they did get pulled from shelves. I don't know. I didn't look up enough on what. I've been hearing just grumblings of stuff going on with Mr. Beast and how he's allegedly very fake and it's all not what you think that it is, and he's not really trying to help. But I don't know. I haven't. I don't know if anything for definitive has been like, yeah, look at this shit.
I mean,
You know?
here's the thing: where there's smoke, there's probably fire. Because I remember hearing stuff like that about Ellen for years, and then come to find out, yeah, she was really a bitch on her show.
Like really bad.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with Rosie O'Donnell, with like Mrs. like Cutie Patootie Fat Pet whatever Chub Club or whatever, and then come to find out, oh yeah, everybody hated her on her show.
Man, that's I just don't know if you like if you get to a certain level of success. Like I don't know how much money Ellen had, but her fame though was everybody knows who Ellen DeGeneres is.
Yeah.
That is a level of fame. You were a household name throughout the entire US.
Mm-hmm.
And do you just get to a certain point where it just overtakes like you're on another level, you put yourself at a pinnacle higher than everybody else to where you're just like you're trash. I can do and say whatever I want. And then not just Ellen, but like take anybody in
I feel
a
like
position of power like that.
two things have to happen.
Not
One,
power, but fame.
you have to be constantly aware and fight to not let that happen. Because like, you hear about some people, I've heard stories about some guys that are like super rich guys, like super famous, super rich people. And then you hear stories like, oh yeah, he's a cool dude, really down to earth, this, that, or the other. And then because I feel like in order to stay that down to earth, being that rich and that famous, you have to make a conscious effort to
Right.
like, to not believe all the bullshit that is constantly probably being fed to you. Because
Yeah.
you're going to have people that are going to try to handle you, constantly try to keep you in a good mood, constantly try to not give you the real shit if shit is going wrong or whatever.
Right.
And you have to actively try to be like, no. What the fuck is going on? Oh, am I being an asshole right now? Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No, we can do this instead kind of shit.
Yeah, but being rich doesn't always come with fame. Like you can be a very
yeah.
wealthy like if I said Kelsey Warren, you probably don't a lot of people would be like, who is that? Well, he's very rich and yet not famous, but he's probably going to have more wealth than the majority of the United States. But then you take somebody like, and I'm not saying Kevin Hart did anything, but Kevin Hart, his level of fame is worldwide.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, think about Denzel. And think about how
Yeah.
famous Denzel is and how much he's made a shit ton of money off movies all over his entire career. You don't ever hear anybody say anything bad about him. Everybody that's ever hung out who have been around are like, oh man, good dude, does this, that, does all sorts of charity stuff without even like trying to get get noticed for it and stuff like that. But I feel like with him, it is an active decision. Like, I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm going to try to stay low key. I'm not trying to be out there in front of everybody. And I feel like that's the only, you have to actively try to not get a big head.
see, I love Denzel. Don't get me wrong, but
What the fuck you about to say, Neil? That man
It's
is a
fine.
national treasure.
No. He is. But like he would be an intimidating interview, I think, just because of his presence. I think he has like you say one little thing wrong and he's gonna roast you for it.
Really? No, I don't think so. Because there's been there are clips out there of like people like either asking dumb questions
I
or
think that's
fucking
what
up
it
questions.
is there's when you ask a dumb question, he's like, "What? What did you say? Let me hold on."
No. Now, Samuel L. Jackson.
No, see, I
You
think
don't
the
ask
opposite.
him. No, what?
I would love to interview. Like I would be less intimidated interviewing Samuel Jackson than.
What? Okay, have you seen the clip of when Samuel Jackson he was doing an interview on TV and then
You talking about the Django Unchained one,
I-
where the kid asked him. He was a kid. White kid was like something of the. What are your thoughts on the overuse of the N word essentially in the show? And then Samuel Jackson's like, "What N word?"
no, that
and-
was there was a different dude. That was a different. You see, confusing black people, Neil.
No, that was Samuel Jackson.
Okay, well, that happened
Who
on
was
another.
in Django Unchained?
Okay, it wasn't Django. It was another dude. Who
I know
said
who
it.
was in Django. It was he.
I'm thinking of a different interview.
Yeah.
that a different black dude did where he tried
You're
to get the
getting
dude
your
to
black
say it.
people mixed up. Django, look, he said he kept trying to get him to say it, and he's like, "What N word?" And he's like, "You know the N word." He's like, "Say it." He's like, "Just say it. It's fine. Say it. Say it with me. I'll say it." And I was like, "Damn." And then I can't remember. There's another.
I'm talking about the one where he confused. He thought he was
Oh,
in a Super
Lawrence.
Bowl commercial, and he confused him with somebody else. And
Lawrence Fishburne.
yes,
he got Lawrence
and he
Fishburne.
roasted this dude.
That was 100% warranted though, because this was L.A. local L.A. news, and he was the Hollywood Reporter that asked Samuel L. Jackson about his Super Bowl commercial, and he was like, "What Super Bowl commercial?" He's like, "He's the."
the what's in your wallet guy.
And I'm the what's in your wallet guy. He's the other guy. And he's like, we don't all look alike. And I'm sorry. And he kept trying to go for it. He's like, no. You're the Hollywood Reporter, and you can't tell the difference between me and Lawrence Fishburne.
See, that's why I feel like Samuel L. Jackson would be a more intimidating interview than Denzel, because Denzel he'll call you out, let it go, okay, let's move forward. Nah, Samuel, we about to make a thing out of this.
Well, I think that's the thing is I wouldn't be worried about asking stupid questions, but I think Samuel L. Jackson would be a fun interview where if I'm interviewing Denzel, it's like a strict dad interview that I'm like,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yeah. How are you doing today?
I will say, Samuel, he'll go weird places with you. He'll fuck
Absolutely.
around. He'll fuck around and go weird places
Oh,
with you.
you know what I would talk to him about? I would talk to him about One Piece, because he had a clip. I don't know when it was, but he had a clip on Howard Stern where he was talking about. Howard Stern was like, I can't watch it, and he was like, and Samuel L. Jackson was like, some of the best storytelling he's ever seen has been from anime, and I'm like,
Wait,
what?
Samuel L. Jackson watches anime?
He might watch One Piece, but I don't know. I'll have to look into that and see further if he's like
See,
a big.
I would ask him how his children's book came about. Like
The Snakes on a Plane book?
no, the Go the Fuck to Sleep book.
What?
Have you not heard about this?
No.
Oh my God! So Samuel L. Jackson has a kid's book, and it is called "Go the Fuck to Sleep," and it's the audio book of this is wild.
There's an audio. Of course there is. And
Yes,
he did it, right?
of
Okay.
course. And he's sitting there talking, and it's like one of those nursery rhyme books. He's going, he's rhyming, and it keeps ending with "Go the fuck to sleep" throughout the whole book.
And there's no way I'm reading that book in my mind, not in the voice of Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's great. I will play this
Okay.
for you, and it's amazing.
So we finished our list,
yes.
but I wanted to say before I forget,
Okay.
and we'll wrap this up.
All right.
I have seen multiple articles saying that one of the worst movies ever made, not just Christmas movie, but worst movies ever made, is Saving Christmas by Kirk Cameron. And
Kirk Cameron's got a lot of bad ones out there.
yeah, and the review, I think it had 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is critic, but then when you go to IMDb, I think it was 1.3 out of 10.
Oh,
So I think we're gonna have to watch that and then give a report on how bad that movie
Saving
is.
Christmas.
Saving Christmas
Kirk
for
Cameron.
Kirk Cameron.
Oh man.
It's apparently like not just bad, but it's well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay. All right.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Please
Absolutely.
hit the like and subscribe button so that we can get more subscribers, because that's how that works when you click it.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Peace.